What is up, couch potatoes? Welcome to today's status report. We are going to be going over the next project and what that entails. So, we are going to be doing another live action Pokemon sketch. And so, basically, if you haven't already seen the first one, it's a Steve Irwin meets Pokemon kind of deal. And so, that's... The first one did so incredibly well with 2.3 thousand views that it warrants a sequel. And over the last year, I have been putting ideas away and working on it a little bit by little bit. But now we're actually going to commit to it and we're going to do it. So first and foremost, I do want to point out is we do need funds for this film. So far, from the gear list that I have and everything that we don't have, it's going to cost $528. And we already have 123 in the bank right now. So it's just a matter of raising those funds and doing so fairly quickly. I'm gonna go over the budget and then I'm gonna go talk about the timeline of making this short, so that way we all are aware of what's going on and how we're going about it, stuff like that. So I have the list here based off of the Pokemon. So I'm gonna not only tell you about what Pokemon are gonna be in it, minus the last one. We'll keep that one for the film itself. But the as of the scenes, this is what we're gonna need. So starting off for Tyranitar, the scene is gonna involve a CG background. So pretty much kind of like how we shot the last one. However, we do want to upgrade the green screen stand. That's going to cost us $150. The stand itself is about 30 feet wide, and I have two very large green screens. So this would allow us to do more, it gives us more maneuverability and allows us to put multiple people in front of the green screen now because we can fit more things in front of it. And that's something that we can use on future projects, not just this one. Next up is a lav mic. Now, I did find one for 15 bucks. I don't know what the quality is going to be for it, but the one of the major things that I want to focus on going forward is audio and making our audio better. So instead of using the built-in camera mic that's in the Canon 60D, we're going to use a lav mic that connects to it wirelessly, and so there'll be a microphone clipped to his shirt, and you will be able to see it, but that's part of the gimmick, right? Like, he's going out in this documentary style thing. It's not necessarily that we're trying to cut out the filmmaking and make you believe that you're in this world, but it's more of like, hey, no, this is the real world, and we are going to go look for the Pokemon that live in it. So, but I found a $15 one. We're going to try using that and see how much of a difference that makes, and then kind of go from there. I would like to get Rode mics, but they are like $80, so we're gonna wait on that one. I need to get rid of my car, so I have to get and this is probably I'll pay out of my own pocket to get rid of it, but we have to move my van into the front yard to film an interior van scene that requires the green screen to be outside of it. And so, but my old car, which the engine doesn't work, is parked in front of the house. So I need to replace that title and get rid of that. I'm going to try to donate it somewhere. And then that'll give room for us to put the van in. So that'll be one of the things I'll be working on pretty soon here. The next scene is we need to get a film light to go on top of the camera. So I used to have, I broke my mount because it was, I 3D printed it and I didn't print it properly. My dad got me this aperture film light. So I 3D printed them out and it goes on here and it pretty much lights up whoever's in front of it. And for the type of scene that's going on, I need that film aperture light that my dad already got me, which is RGB, and you can animate it to different effects and stuff like that. That's going to be used for the scene when Minior comes out of a crater. It's going to fall to the ground and come out of this crater. Well, it glows. So we're going to have the aperture light be the practical green light that will light up the area to make it look like he's glowing in real life. And then as of lighting the actor on top of the camera is going to be a cheap camera light from Target. So I'll go over there and go purchase that pretty soon. But that light is going to be $30 compared to getting a whole nother aperture light, which is what I originally wanted to do. That's $90. So we're going to go for the $30 one, see how that fares, and then go from there. I have to make the potions from Pokemon, the repels from Pokemon, and a revive from Pokemon. Now, I've already found models to 3D print the revives. The repels, honestly, look like cans of aerosol. So, I'm just going to go take one of my empty spray paint cans and turn it into the repel. So that's going to cost me about like $7. The potion, we found some really cool spray bottles that look pretty close to what it is in Pokemon. Or not close, but very sci-fi-ish. So we're going to go, those spray bottles are also like $7, so we're going to go get those props, slap a Pokeball sticker on it, call it a day. And we're going to do the same thing with the repel. So we're going to actually have to go to Staples and print out a Pokeball icon and get a sheet of it. And then we'll have that for any other future prop. So if there's ever another prop where it's like, hey, it needs a Pokeball icon for the thing, then we'll have that ready to go. We need to get a $20 morph suit. One of the green morph suits, so then that way I can have a stand-in for a couple shots. There's 3 Pokemon that need it. Totodile, who's finally going to make an appearance. He will be pulling like a dog toy from the main character, my character, and I figured, well, we can have him be, and I have green gloves for this, so we don't need the green morph suit for this particular shot, but he'll be pulling the toy in real life, so it looks like I'm pulling against something, and then I'll replace the hand with a CG Totodile. But there's also a scene involving Hypno and Gardevoir, and so the person wearing the green screen morph suit will be the stand-in for those Pokemon that I will then key them out and put the Pokemon over them later. We have an air mattress. We're also going to need to go get the stuff to make a Komala plush. So there's going to be a scene where I'm holding a Pokemon. So my buddy Robbie is going to, we need to get the materials for him to make a weighted plushie that's in the same size and proportions of the character. So then that way it looks like I'm actually holding him because he will be replaced with CG as well. For the Gardevoir skit, this is a detail that I don't want to give out until you watch the piece, but there is a bad guy that appears in it, and so I do need to get a specific shirt and a specific accessory to show that character. It is a character from the games, so those of you who have played the Pokemon games and have watched the anime, especially, no, that's gonna spoil it. But you will figure out you'll know exactly who this is. But that's gonna cost about $30, $15 for the shirt, and then $15 for the accessory. I don't want to give too much away yet. We need to go get picnic supplies. That's gonna cost about $23 because Gardevoir and Professor Waddle will be on a picnic in public. And so I do need to go get a picnic blanket essentially and stuff to make sandwiches. So that way, not only I can feed my crew, but we could use them as a prop as well. So that'll be nice. Eevee, and this is probably the most expensive shot out of, I shouldn't say shot because it's I want to say 3 or 4 shots, but the most expensive scene, it's going to cost $82 to make the evolutionary stones. And so what I want to do essentially, for those who don't know how Eevee works, Eevee is a Pokemon that evolves through 7 different ways. It can turn into 7 different Pokemon depending on how it gets there. So the original 3, Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon, were from evolutionary stones. So if you had the elemental stone and it interacted with the Eevee would then evolve into a form matching that elemental stone. I went on Etsy to look to see if somebody already made them, but honestly, they're a little small. I want them to be bigger for the camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to 3D model the stones based off the artwork from Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Then I'm going to 3D print the main bulk of the stones, the main shape, off my my 3D printers over here, off my FDM printers. And then I'm going to take those, I'm going to smoothen them out. Then I have to make silicone molds of all 3 stones, which look different. Then I have to fill them in with dyed epoxy. So I got to get clear epoxy. I need to go get dye for the different resins. And there's a really nice set of resin dyes for $10, and it has like, I think 15 different colors. So it actually is fairly affordable when it comes to the dyes. No, it's not crazy. But with my resin printers, which is this yellow and red cubes behind me, the yellow cube being the curer, the red being the printer, I have to 3D print the elemental stuff in the stones. So the firestone, I'm gonna 3D print like some fire out of another resin to then put inside the epoxy and then pour more epoxy into it. So it'll be like a red fireball with a yellow epoxy. And then the thunderstone will have a lightning bolt inside. And then the water stone, which I believe my friend Ace is the one who came up with the idea. We're thinking about getting like actual like marbles, like to simulate bubbles in the water stone. So that might, so maybe that one will be a little bit different, but we'll see. I'm kind of debating. That's the main bulk of it, and I really would like to do that because I've never really done that process before. I did make a mold back in high school of a Mandalorian helmet with an art teacher, but that was 2016. It is now 2025, so it's been 9 years. Oh my god. Anyway, it's been a while, so I would like to be able to take a crack at it. It sounds like a lot of fun. My grandmother also has had an interest in the resin making, so I might include her in on the process and making it. So that'd be really cool. And we'll get that for the BTS stuff. I need to go get 2 more lab coats. I do own 1 lab coat. I need to go get 2 more because there are lab assistants in the scene. And then I gotta go get a catcher's net. They're like a bug catcher's net. So that'll be about $18, and then the lab coats will be about $30. For total, not each. For the finale, which I won't tell you what Pokemon appear there, I will say, it is pretty cool. We're gonna film it 2 ways. One, we're gonna film it without the weather effects, just in case I can't make it look good. But I would like to film it with a rain machine, which is going to cost about $30 to make. We're going to get some PVC pipe, hook it up to a hose, and have somebody pretty much hold a wand and try to spray me with water. Somebody's going to be using a leaf blower to simulate wind. We have a leaf blower, so that part's fine. And then I would like to invest in some more camera batteries. This entire time that I've had this camera, we've only had 1 battery. And I was given crap for it at my sister's wedding because me and my buddy, both who shot the video for her wedding, her maid of honor, love her dearly, she's great, was like, what kind of videographers come here with only 1 battery each? And we're like, ones who aren't getting paid because we didn't get paid for it because she's my sister. Love you, Katie. But the point is, I need to go get more batteries. And the way we've scheduled it, which we'll get into more, is that it's going to be an all-day shoot for, I think, everything but 3 scenes. And so that I guess with that said, we'll go talk about the schedule. We'll talk about the schedule next. So the way I would like to do it is, number 1, we are gonna have to schedule this weeks in advance. According to my call sheet where I have everybody's names, I've been asking them, hey, how much advance does your job want from you if you need to ask for a day off? And for me and my buddy who work at the same store, our schedule now comes out 3 weeks in advance, which means we need to ask for things 4 weeks before the day. So we won't be shooting this for another 4 weeks, maybe 5, because I'm going to give myself all of next week to get my cast and crew together. So the first 3 days of the shoot, the first 3 days of production, and I only have them for 3 days because it's like how much I have listed on a given day. I will be spending once we figure out what days we're shooting, I guarantee you that entire time will be dedicated. Leading up to that will not only be dedicated to getting the props and costumes together, but also working on the visual effects assets for the piece, because all the Pokemon will be CGI, and we'll come back to that in a second. So the first 3 days are all dedicated to the pre-production work involving the props and costumes. The actual shoot day is we have 3 setups at the house during the day. We're going to start with shooting the car scene, the car interior scene, then move the green screen back into the backyard to shoot shots 6, 10, 25, 31 through 33, and 7. Shoot all of those scenes, then move our happy butts to a local park where we'll be shooting the picnic scene with the Gardevoir, and then as it gets darker, we have to race back to the house because we're thinking for the finale it takes place during a thunderstorm, and so we figured if we wait for the sun to go down a little bit more, then my character will look more like he's in the darkness of clouds. I'm not entirely when I say it out loud, it may not work that way. I'll have to really think about how we're gonna go about it. If we can find a cheap way to make it like overcast, like I think that might be a better solution. But we'll let me ponder that. We have to shoot. We have to go back to the park towards the evening for the Minior scene, because the scene happens while me and the cameraman are out on a walk, and then we'll be going and hunting down the Pokemon, and that's when we find it. And then the very first scene of the short takes place, I shouldn't say like in the dead of night, but it is a nighttime scene. So we'll be shooting that as the last thing. It's really funny how filmmaking works, because it's like, yeah, it's the first scene in the whole film, but it's the last one we're shooting. So we have that going for us. The second shoot day is only going to be like a 3 to 4 hour day. I would argue maybe 5. 1 hour to get everything set up, 3 hours to do the shoot, and then the last hour to clean up. But that part we'd like to, since it all is in like a Pokemon laboratory, we're going to see if we can go and shoot it at my aunt's school. I haven't asked her yet. So hi, Aunt Shrett. If you're watching this is me asking. You'll be getting a phone call from me pretty soon. I'm gonna see if they'll let us do that. If not, it's okay. I might try to get a hold of a college campus and see if maybe, because I mean, it's luckily for us right now it is the summer, so school for the most part on all accounts is out. So I'm hoping that we can find somebody to let us do this and shoot these 3 scenes, and be golden. So there is that. But yeah, that's the plan. So the pipeline in itself is 2 shoot days, 1 major shoot day, and then the CG of the Pokemon. My goal is to make them look as realistic as possible. So shout out to my mom who bought me a book that was $75. Thank you, Mom. It is The Art of Detective Pikachu, because luckily for me, this road has been gone down before. There's one of the things that I'm trying to do to build out my portfolio for Industrial Light and Magic, if I've ever am blessed with an opportunity to work for them, is looking at their job descriptions. They are focusing on realism, and so it's not good enough for me to just take the in-game models, which is what I did with the last time, and put them in and just hope for the best, right? So it's a matter of, okay, let's make them look real. And that's my goal. So we have 4 weeks until the shoot, and then I believe I've given myself, I have the number written down somewhere. Where did I put it? So we're going to be 4 weeks out from the shoot date, where I'll be working on making the Pokemon look as realistic and learn as much as I can. But I also am giving myself 4 weeks after the shoot to get the whole thing done. So this probably like 5 to 10 minute skit is going to take 8 weeks of work. Possibly. I'm hoping with the amount of things that I can do before the shoot date, it actually will be a lot shorter. Seeing how the way I did it the last time, I had a model with that was like a humanoid character. I downloaded the Pokemon Trainer model from Smash Brothers Brawl, and I would scale the Pokemon to him. So it's like so pretty much I'd go, okay, if Torterra is X amount tall, for sake of a number, let's just say he's 10 feet tall. I know he's not 10 feet tall, but just bear with me. I'm 5'7", he's 10 feet tall. Okay, so that means if my head is right here, his head would be over here. So I would scale the Torterra to the player model that I had in the computer and then frame my shot. And so now that I have a better understanding of how animation works, I can go as far as to frame, because I have all my shots drawn out. I drew out all of the shots in a storyboard in a binder. I know what I want. I know where the camera's going to move. I can go in and take shots where I'm not even in it. It's just 100% CG and go work on them right now. Like, it's not, so I'm going to try to use my time as effectively as possible. I've gotten in a pretty good habit, especially with the Mando project, that once I got back from Japan, I was working on that video every day. I'd get home from work, I'd sit here at the computer, and I would just go. And so I'm trying to carry that momentum through. So it may not take 8 weeks, but that's my projection. Maybe sooner, I don't know. Doing my best here. But that's essentially how we want to do the second film. I do want to get... How do I explain this? Basically, what I am asking is if you can support the Patreon. If you go on our Patreon, which I have the link in the description, we're just trying to raise the money for this film. This film is going to be, like I said, about $500. I haven't done the math on like the computer components I want to upgrade for this project. For the most part, my computer probably just needs a deep cleaning, but if we somehow end up over that benchmark, I'll invest in more RAM sticks, another hard drive, and then that way I can try to get through this project a lot faster and a lot more simpler. But I am basically asking for money. I'm not, there's no sugarcoating it. I don't want to do it, but like, I want to make this film. I know this is a film that people will enjoy. But that's kind of like how it works, is that I need the funding to be able to make the movie. For the most part, I will probably most likely just pay for this out of pocket if I have to. I've been pinching pennies anywhere that I can, and if I know I know over the next 2 months we'll have enough for the green screen stand 100%. Once I get a due date figured out, or like a production date figured out, I'll be able to manage money better that way as well. It's just a matter of calculating. But if you are interested in the project, by all means, please come help and donate. Our Patreon is in the description. You'll see the film 2 weeks before everybody else. 100%. That's it's the way I do it is that any film that I make, or even if it's like a BTS episode of like an experiment or something like that, Patreon supporters get that video 2 weeks before it goes public. So you get early access. We have a special Discord chat for you guys as well. So it's like, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, you can shoot them over there. If you have any questions right now, you can comment at the bottom of the video and I'll try to get back to you, or at least answer them in the next status report as I make my thing. So by next report, I should have a complete list of the cast. I should have an idea of where we're going, and if we can just get a bump in finances before June 5th, because that's when Patreon pays us out, we should be able to at least start with getting the supplies for the epoxy pours and getting the stones made. And then I'll have a better idea. And then once we have the shoot date, I'll have a better idea of what to do in terms of scheduling out all of the tasks. So yeah, oops, sorry. So with that said, thank you if you do support us, and we will see you guys next week when I have my cast and crew, and I'll have better dates for you. I don't know how to say bye in these things. It is not, I am still learning stuff.